Hello all, welcome once again. So in the earlier video regarding the analysis of previous UPSC 2023's Prelims question, we have seen that how previous year UPSC questions can be effectively used to pick the topics directly or to identify areas which are favored by UPSC or to predict a question which can be asked by UPSC in future using the insights taken from PVQ questions from 2011 to 2022. Here also in this video, we are going to consider some of the current affairs questions asked by UPSC in 2023's Prelims, which could have been solved using the ideas provided by previous year UPSC questions. Along with, I'll give you a strategy on how to prepare upon current affairs to select topics which can have high probability in asking a particular year, which is what I'm going to discuss in this particular video. So I've taken some of the questions, not the entire current affairs question in 2023's Prelims, some few questions which could have been tackled using my strategy. So one question from 2023's Prelims question was to locate or to identify the border countries of Ukraine. So you have to think about why Ukraine was asked by UPSC in 2023. So that is the first idea you have to think about. That you should definitely know, right? Because Ukraine was there in news for the entire 2022-23 period because of Russia-Ukraine war. We know that. And if you have searched for Ukraine or if you have read any newspapers like Indian Express or Hindu, you could have come across a news regarding Ukraine easily because Ukraine was a hot spot regarding international affairs, international relations in 2022-23. So you have to expect that UPSC is well aware with the current happenings around the world and you can expect a question regarding Ukraine in such scenario. But my question is how to think about, how to study or how to prepare upon Ukraine. In that scenario, your previous year UPSC question will help you to form an idea regarding the kind of question that will be asking. For that, I've taken an example from 2022's question. So look at this question paper. This question is regarding Afghanistan. Which of the above have borders with Afghanistan? And UPSC have given some countries which have or have been bordered with, have not borders with Afghanistan. See, Afghanistan was there in news in 2021-22 because of all that Taliban issue, we know it. And UPSC asked about the borders of Afghanistan. So a student prepared upon 2022's question paper, who had seen this particular question in Afghanistan, should also think that this year UPSC, there are chances that UPSC can ask about the border countries of Ukraine. See, that should be the insight you should be having. And see, look at the question, look at the nature of question UPSC asked in 2023. Again, as I showed you earlier, UPSC asked about the border countries of Ukraine in 2023. So this is one idea you should be getting. You will have a model of questions asked by UPSC. You can have a model of question or type of question which is going to be asked by UPSC in the very next year if you follow a succeeding year's question paper, previous year question paper. Getting it? So this is the first idea you have to take from current affairs. Take in this discussion regarding current affairs. Now, let's move on. Another question. So this question is regarding central bank digital currency. So the second question from current affairs in 2023's Prelims is regarding central bank digital currency. Many of us may have read about central bank digital currency, also known as e-rupee, many a times because it appeared in newspaper any number of times. See, I have included some of the screenshots, not the entire screenshots of news regarding CBDC because you will find plenty of them. I just only included an indicative screenshot of e-rupee or the central bank digital currency, an article that explains the basics of it. See, look at here. CBDC was there in news multiple number of times and UPSC asked about the basics of it. And how can we utilize previous year UPSC question to prepare upon CBDC? That's my question. See, I can cite you a number of examples. UPSC had asked about Rupee card in some year, 2017 or 18. UPSC asked about Pay or UPSC asked about UPI payment network. UPSC asked about National Payment Corporation of India. All these questions were picked up in respective years because in all those years, government had introduced those public utility technologies. So, see this question. This was a question asked in 2017 or 18. The question is regarding BHIM app and UPI. In that particular year, UPI or BHIM was the most important public utility technology released by government. So what you can decipher is that if you follow newspapers, if you see some kind of technology which is released by government, kind of RuPay, kind of FASTA, kind of UPI, you can expect that topics should be or can be asked in UPSC as well, because UPSC works for the system, UPSC is part of the system. If the system releases a utility technology which can be beneficial for the citizen, then which can be used for the governance of the system, then it can be expected in a particular year as well. See, this is my second insight. When you prepare upon current affairs, when you come across such topics, give a note on it. If that kind of topic, if some similar topic, if it was asked in previous year as well, give more importance to it. You can expect more number of questions in future as well. This is my second insight regarding current affairs preparation. Then moving forward, let me give you more examples. Here the question is regarding G20. See, G20 was the most important happening in 2023 with respect to international groupings, because India was becoming the host of G20 in 2023. That was the prime news regarding international grouping. And to your surprise, look at these questions in 2021 as well as in 22. There were continuous questions regarding G20. In 2021, UPSC asked about the members of G20. In 2022, UPSC asked about the G20 common framework. Even though G20 wasn't there in news consistently as in 2023, UPSC asked about G20 because that was one of the primary international grouping involving India happened in the recent year. So in 2023 as well, UPSC UPSC did follow the tradition. UPSC asked about G20 in 2023 as well. They asked about the history of G20, functioning of UPSC, some basic fundamentals. If you have come across Hindu newspaper or Indian Express newspaper, you would have read n number of articles regarding G20 and its formation and its history, etc. So what previous year UPSC question paper gives you is an idea of topics you can expect in a particular year. UPSC asked about G20 multiple year, and an aspirant who prepared upon previous year UPSC question might have read about G20 and its origin. So those aspirants would find it easier to answer this question in 2023 as well, even though it is a statement-based question. Getting it? So this is my whole point. UPSC again follows the idea of following previous year UPSC question pattern. If a topic or a theme, if it was asked in a particular year, there are high chances that such kind of questions or such kind of topics again should have or should be repeated. Getting it? And I have more examples for you. So this particular question is regarding, I discussed this particular question in the first video as well. Chad, Guinea, Mali and Sudan, why it was asked. I also said that I already told you there that it was a topic in current affair for n number of types in 2020-23 period. You can find multiple news articles discussing about coups and military overtakings in the African region in Hindu as well as Indian Express. Again, my point was that you could have answered that question using PVQ logic, which I discussed in the first video as well. Again, if you had followed the basic current affairs regarding African Union, again you will come across this particular news. So that was another question. And some UPSC now has a trend on asking international relations related current affairs questions more frequently. Here in 2023, you have two such questions. Some geographical regions like North Kivu, Nagano region, again some region like Kherson region. See, all these questions were there in news for multiple number of times. Not a single time or twice. Those topics or those regions were in news in the spotlight for a number of times. For number of days, newspaper continued to display such news. So look at these newspaper cuttings. All these newspapers have either Hindu or Indian Express, their international relations column, their basic column. Anybody can spot these news. See, look at these news. All these newspaper cuttings. It all mentions all these regions. All regions in such as North Kivu region, Nagano region. All these regions were covered by these fundamental basic newspapers for a multiple number of times. See, that's a trend you have to understand. If a particular geographic region is there in news for a number of days, there are high chances. Minimum you have to know where that particular region is. In which country that particular region is. That you should understand. This is how you have to prepare upon problematic areas. Again, PVQ will help you to address such areas as well. I'll give you one such example. See, look at this question again. Donbas region, Kachin region, Tigray region, all these regions were in news which involved India or which did not involve India. But no matter it is, these regions were in news for a number of days. See, news is involved in Donbas region and India's referendum. Then Ethiopia's region, Tigray region, all these were in news. See, look at the screenshots. Those regions and the country involved in that particular region was there in the heading itself, or at least in the photograph shown in the screenshot itself. So you don't need to delve deeper into these topics. Only you should have is a basic understanding regarding the international happenings. So what I'm telling you is another strategy is to prepare for 2024 prelims. You have to have a basic idea regarding international relations column in either Hindu or Indian Express. Newspaper is your choice, but what I referred is Hindu and Indian Express, and I could find easily a number of newspaper articles regarding all these regions picked up by UPSC in 2023. So that is my strategy for you. Friends, prepare the international relations column or go for the international relations column in either of these two newspapers. You will get a number of articles and which can have high chances in asking UPSC's exam. Getting it? That is one thing. Then look at this question. In previous years as well, such kind of questions were asked. Catalonia region, Anatolia region, these regions were in news for one reason or some other reason. Also UPSC picked up that question as well. And again, to your knowledge, this Catalonia region was there in news was there in UPSC in 2018 as well. This is a question asked in 2022, I believe. And in 2018 as well, Catalonia was there in news, and that time Catalonia was paired with Spain. And this time Catalonia is paired with Italy. So a person, even though he or she doesn't know where Catalonia is, if he practices the previous UPSC question, he'll come to know about Catalonia in 2018 question paper itself. Then he could have solved in 2022 also. Clear? Again, UPSC follows the trend. It emphasizes on the importance of PVQ. It regularly utilizes PVQ to frame questions and pick up topics. This is my entire point through this discussion. How to use PVQ on effectively preparing a future exam or future prelims. Again, last question in current affairs series. So this is just to show you the idea about how to give importance to certain topics or how to guide your preparation on certain topics. That is my entire point. Look at this last question. Which one of the following countries has been suffering from decades of civil strife and food shortages? This was asked in 2023. And look at this question. Question asked in 2022 or 21, I believe. Very recently, in which of the following countries have lakhs of people either suffered from severe famine or acute malnutrition? See, all these regions, Angola, Zambia, Morocco, Tunisia, and you saw Tunisia in 2023 as well. Venezuela, Colombia, Yemen, South Sudan. Here also, all these regions, Ethiopia, North Yemen. See, the regions are getting repeated. West Asia, Central Africa, Southeast Asia, the problematic areas around the globes are getting repeated over and here. Iran, Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, all these regions are getting repeated in UPSC's question paper. All you have to do is pay attention to the details, pay attention to the basics of the what issues happening all over these regions. This is what only you have to do. And with the help of PVQ, we can understand the basic trend in which, or basic model in which UPSC is going to be asked. See, look at that Ukraine's question. You can expect a border-wise question. You can expect a region-wise question. You can expect the reason behind that particular issue. Either UPSC can give you countries and ask you about the reasons. Either UPSC can ask about the reasons and they can ask about the identified particular region. In all these methods, you can expect questions. And preparing well with previous UPSC question will make you thorough with the models in which UPSC is going to ask. This is my entire point, and this is regarding the take from 2023's current affairs session. Now, this current affairs session and the PVQ session discussed in the first video together comprises some 30 to 35 questions. Out of that 100 questions, 30 to 35 questions could have been tackled using your basic understanding regarding your well prepared, if you are well prepared with PVQs and if you have followed the basic international affairs news. So this is my entire point. Friends, I believe you are getting my points as well. Now, we'll move on to the third part of this discussion, how your fundamentals could have been helped you in Prelims 2023 as well. Questions testing your fundamentals. So many students complain that after Prelims 2023, they said like, see, UPSC is deviating from the fundamentals. UPSC is not asking about the fundamentals. Fundamentals from economics, fundamentals from politics, fundamentals from geography. Very few questions are there. So these were the sort of complaints which I received, or generally the faculties received regarding the nature of UPSC after 2023 prelims. But when I go through the question paper, when I went through the question paper, what I found out was almost 15 questions were there which could have been easily tackled using your fundamental knowledge. See, these 15 questions are supposed to be answered on a civil service level. If you are preparing for civil services, if you have given a decent effort on 1 year, you should make these 15 questions correct. Because if you are not making these 15 questions correct, you are not going to make it into the mains list, or you are not going to clear the prelims. Because these 15 questions by civil service standards, you have to make them correct. So these are the fundamentals. So look at these fundamentals, and I haven't included the screenshot from PVQs on these fundamentals question because I can spot a number of PVQs from these fundamental regions. Some questions have been asked 4 or 5 times in last 10 to 12 years. So in order to reduce the size of this document, I have only mentioned that the questions which have been asked multiple times, I mentioned like it, multiple times asked, and I haven't included a screenshot. You have to believe me, if you go through the previous year UPSC question paper list, you will find those topics, those areas an n number of times. So I have included a fairly less number of screenshots from fundamentals to make you understand about the importance of PVQ again in solving fundamentals. So look at this question. This question is regarding, I'm not going to solve this question, but only giving you the idea regarding how to solve this, how to rely upon fundamentals. UPSC is going to ask about fundamentals. No matter what, there will be some 15 to 20 questions from fundamentals alone, which could have been easily solved. That's my point. There can be questions from fundamentals which can be difficult as well. But my point is, there can be easy fundamental questions like this. The first question is regarding the definition of MSME, which you should study. Second question is regarding all bank loans to the MSME qualify under the priority sector. There, you can have it down. Will it qualify under priority sector lending loan to MSME? There also, previous year UPSC question will come to your help. See, look at this question asked in 2017, I believe. Priority sector lending by banks in India constitute a lending to MSME. So this was a question asked in 2017 or 18, I'm not sure about the year, but it was asked in the past. So a previous year UPSC question says that MSME loans qualifies as priority sector lending. So the same concept was repeated in 23 as well. Getting it? So this is my idea regarding, this is my insight regarding utilizing PVQ. So you'll have a clear idea regarding where UPSC is emphasizing, from where UPSC is picking up topics. So this is one fundamental. Then moving forward, look at all these questions. I'm not going to discuss the entire questions here. Look at all these questions from economics, capital market, bond market, bill market, stock market. Multiple times UPSC have asked. Look at this question. So this is a very fundamental question. An UPSC aspirant prepares for civil service should know that should know about India sharing global export of goods, India sharing global export of services, import of services, import of goods. What percentage of India's GDP is for importing goods? That you should know this. Again, as I mentioned earlier, if UPSC wishes to make a particular fact wrong, you should do it lavishly. It will give an unrealistic number. Here also it happened. 3.2 is not the answer. It is India's export of goods is too less compared to 3.2%. That's a fact here. Again, that particular question. Then moving forward, see, identify the bodies which are either constitutional or non-constitutional. A fundamental, a basic question, level 0 question from polity. Anybody who is going to read the constitutional bodies and non-constitutional bodies from Lakshmikant, they are going to make this question correct. So if you are making this question wrong, see, you have to revise it. You have to make sure that your fundamentals are thorough. So this is only insight I can give you. Because in past, UPSC have asked this question multiple number of times. 2011, 12, 15, 17. UPSC asked about the constitutionality of bodies or non-constitutionality of bodies. UPSC asked in multiple times. Then this question, election of president. As I said earlier, the voting share of MLAs, voting share of MPs, method of election of president. These are the favorite areas of UPSC. If you have Lishmiyan, if you have gone through that parliament part, if you have gone through that first 5 or 6 units, you will come to know about this particular topic. And there is no excuse in making these questions wrong as well, which is my point. Again, another fundamental question. Then, regarding Constitution Day, with respect to Constitution Day, here UPSC gave you a date on 26 November 1949. An aspirant prepare for civil services will learn initially or in his or her initial political classes that in Constitution there is one or two, but there is only one date which is mentioned in the Constitution. That is 26 November 1949. What is the importance of 26 November 1949? And what is on which date India became a republic? So all these dates are fundamental, not the difficult dates, not so difficult to remember. See, in past also UPSC have come up with such similar questions. Look at this. What is the status of India on 26 January 1950? See, what is the importance of 8th August 1942? See, all these are fundamental dates, foundational dates marking some important events. These events can be remembered easily if you are strong with your fundamentals. See, similar questions can be asked. So you can expect such questions if you are reading your polity, if you are reading your history book, if there is an important date, you should remember that UPSC had asked about such similar questions in past. So I have to prepare upon these dates. I only need to prepare upon these dates and their cardinal importance. What are they famous for? So this is my whole point. Again, moving on. So this question is regarding schedule area. Schedule 5, Schedule 6, tribal areas. All these questions were asked by UPSC. All these topics were picked up by UPSC in multiple years. Again, I'm not going to give you the screenshots here because it's a wastage of time. You have to believe me. There are multiple instances where UPSC asked about such topics or such areas. And again, finance bill and money bill. Remember 2016, remember 2017, 2018. UPSC asked about Article 112. UPSC asked about Article 110. Finance bill and money bill. These are recurrent topics in prelims. Again, fundamentals. Again, Regulating Act, Picks India Act, Charter Act 1813, 1932, 1990, 1909. All these important constitutional acts are UPSC's favorite area. Look at the previous year UPSC question. All year you can find at least one question regarding these acts or provisions related to these acts. 23, 22, 21. See, every year you can expect such acts from acts in UPSC's question paper. Another fundamental from history. And again, Amarkantak region, Sheshajalam region, in environment, in geography, you can see these topics. Amarkantak hills, Sheshajalam hills, everywhere in environment, everywhere in geography, you can see these questions. These are all fundamentals of geography. These are all fundamentals of environment. Again, repeated question. Then P waves, S waves, their properties. See, all these are fundamentals of geography. Getting it? So if you practice, if you do your fundamentals strong, here you don't need to study the PVQ. Here you only have to read your fundamental textbook. And after that, read that PVQ. You'll find that these questions are often repeated. So read it. You'll see you have to make this question correct. That's my entire point. Now I'll show you another question, how PVQ can be effectively used to identify certain areas which are not traditionally given in the fundamental textbooks. You have to search it for studying it. Example, in one particular year, UPSC asked about some minerals like sillimanite, granite, chromite. Another year, UPSC asked about monazite. Another year, UPSC asked about thorium. Another year, UPSC asked about uranium. So UPSC asked about uranium, thorium, monazite, etc. What does it indicate? UPSC has a tendency towards asking some rare earth minerals or some very important minerals of commercial importance or strategic importance. So list out some commercial minerals or strategic minerals that come to your mind. They can be thorium, they can be uranium, they can be titanium as well. They can be any other mineral which can have strategic value. So an UPSC aspirant should understand that you have to prepare upon strategic minerals. You have to prepare upon rare earth minerals. Then only you can answer this question. Because in 2023, UPSC asked about titanium, minerals of titanium, ilmenite, rutile. So any aspirant who read about sillimanite we'll also read about titanium as well. Getting it? These are my points. These questions were asked in 3 different years, 2020, 17. See, PVQ gives you an idea regarding where you have to focus. Instead of randomly going after some random topics, you have to be on focus. You can have on pinpoints or areas which can have high relevance. This is my entire point. So that's it. That is regarding the fundamental question. There were 15 such questions asked from fundamentals. So as per UPSC standards, taking a student or aspirant who has given a decent effort for over the last 1 year should make this 15 question correct, which is where I've only picked up these 15 questions. If you go through the 2023's UPSC Prelims paper, you can find more number of questions which are comparatively difficult. But I haven't taken those questions. I have only taken those questions which can be answered using your basic logics or basic understanding of the topics. So this is my third point. UPSC still asks about fundamentals. UPSC still asks from the fundamentals. You have to be thorough regarding the fundamentals. Again, preparing upon previous year UPSC question, practicing with previous year UPSC question can give you an idea regarding where to focus. Whether to focus on fundamental duties or to focus on fundamental right. Whether to focus on governor or to focus on president. Whether to focus on the qualifications of president or the method of election of president. All these will be giving an insight regarding where to prepare and where to focus upon. So this is my entire point, and this is the third section of my 2023's prelims analysis. How to rely upon fundamentals to solve questions asked in 2023's prelims. Hope you are getting it better, I believe. Now, we'll come to the last part of the question, how your logic still work. And this is the most important fraud which I have faced or many of the faculties have faced in 2023's prelims. The logics have been dead. You cannot apply logics in UPSC questions anymore because UPSC have changed the pattern entirely. There is no space for logics and rational thinking. Is that so? I would say it is not. There are still scope for logics. There are still value for rational thinking. I'll show you how. There are some 15 to 16 questions you could have solved easily using your basic logics or the civil service level. That I will show you in the next session. Now let's see some of the questions which could have been solved purely using your rational thinking or logical thinking. See, again, as I mentioned earlier, there are a lot of scope for applying logics here in UPSC 2023 as well. I have identified some 15 questions which could have been solved using pure logic. Again, some intelligent, calculated logics, I would mention so. So this question is regarding statement 1. In the post-pandemic recent past, many central banks worldwide had carried out interest rate hikes. So this is basic from economics. Again, yes, interest rate hikes could have been happened. And why did they happen? Because central banks generally believe that they have the ability to counteract the rising consumer prices via monetary policy means. This is the basics of economics. Monetary policy, how banks do deal with the monetary policy situations in the market. So this is a very logical statement. Both 1 and 2 and 2 seems to be the logical explanation of the first one as well. So again, a very logical statement which could have been solved using your basic rationality based in logical thinking. And this question, small farmer, large field. Many marginal farmers, they organize themselves to become a large group, large field, and synchronize and harmonize selected agricultural operations. In fact, among all these 4 options, this is the only option that makes some sense. Look at the first option. Resettlement of large number of people uprooted from their countries related to war, not related to small farmer, large field. Many marginal farmers, they actually surrender their land to the corporate body. Is that going to be happen? No, you have seen some movies. No, it's not going to be happen. Then A doesn't make sense. C doesn't make sense. Now look at the fourth option. A company extends loans, technical knowledge and material inputs to a number of small farmers in an area so that they can produce the agricultural community required by the company for its manufacturing process and commercial production. C. Option D and option B. Option B. Between these two, which one seems to be more realistic regarding the concepts given in the question? Again, B couldn't be the answer. So, another question which could have been solved using a logic. And again, third one, look at the first statement. Interest income from the deposits in InvITs distributed to the requester is exempted from tax. And any individual should have the basic understanding that in India, almost everything is taxed. Almost every income is taxed. So how can InvITs be exempted from taxation? There is no essential provision in that. That's a general understanding. If you understand the first statement is wrong, you can easily arrive at the answer. Again, these two questions, my favorite question, being an environmental faculty, I find it very interesting to answer such kind of questions. Here, these questions seem to be very irrational. These questions seem to be very factual, but there are still logic can be applied in these questions. Look at the first question. So this question is about which of the following organisms perform waggle dance for others of their kin to indicate the direction and distance to a source of their food. Some kind of organism perform some kind of dancing. They do not do it for their own purpose. They do it for their own family, their own kins, their own friends to attract them to the food. Among the options given here, which of these organisms travel in colony, travel in large group to find their food? The only option that fit to the above description can be honeybees, because wasps, they generally do not travel in colony. Butterflies, they can have multiple butterflies, but they do not travel in colonies. We used to say bee colonies, honeybee colonies, so that they will go to a particular place according to their need. Getting it? So honeybees can be easily deciphered here. Even though it's a very factual one, there is some kind of logic which can be applied because of the statement given. Then look at the next question. Which of the following makes a tool with a stick to scrape insect from a hole in a tree? Hole in a tree. So they have to use their hand. They have to live on trees. Then only this question makes sense. So among the four options given here, which of them can use their hands with ease? Fishing cat, orangutan, otter, or sloth bear? So there can be two options, sloth bear and orangutan. Again, which of them live on trees? Sloth bear or orangutan? Definitely orangutan. Ape. Species which can have some relation to human can use their hand. So that's the logic there. Fishing cat lives entirely by fishing. Depends entirely upon fishing. So they are not in that need to feed on insects. So again, orangutan would have been answered here. Two interesting questions from environment, but purely works upon the logic. Orangutan. This one, Israel has established diplomatic relation with some Arab states. See, look at this term here, some Arab state. What I said about some is a possibility enhancer. UPSC hasn't told that Israel has established diplomatic relation with all the Arab nations. No, it hasn't. It has established relation with some. And think about the alternative. Israel hasn't established diplomatic relations with none of the Arab states. It can be also wrong. See, none, all these are some blatant usages. Some is a possibility enhancer. This can be correct. The Arab Peace Initiative mediated by Saudi Arabia was signed by Israel and Arab League. So in this present day's context, this particular question makes a lot of sense. So will Israel be ready to sign such an agreement with the Arab League? Think about his perspective with Palestine. Think about his perspective with Hamas. See, second statement can be wrong in most cases. There is no chance that Israel is going to sign a treaty with the Arab League, nor the history behind it. So, start that particular question. Moving on. The question is regarding US and European Union, and there is some Trade and Technology Council. No matter what will be the initiative, look at the statement given in the second one. They are trying to bring technological progress and physical productivity under their control. Is it going to be happen? US and European Union give some aid to the countries, and they are trying to make the countries under their power. Is that going to happen? No, it is not going to happen. Statement 2 can be wrong. Another easy question. Then, Switzerland. Question regarding Switzerland. Switzerland is one of the leading exporters. Switzerland has the second largest gold reserve in the world. Gold reserve. If gold reserves should be there, if gold reserves are to be there, there should be some geographical area. There should be some metallic deposits. But first statement, there are possibilities because a country can have an exporter even though it does not have enough resources with it. He can import it and process it and export it. Take the case of India. India doesn't have petrol deposit that much, but India is one of the leading petroleum exporters of the world. India buys petrol and refined petroleum, and India processes it and India exports it. Similar case with the Switzerland. Even though it doesn't have enough gold deposits, it can be the largest exporter, one of the largest exporter. And look at the statement here also. UPSC plays a safe note here, a safe play here. One of the leading exporters, not the leading exporter. So all these are words. One of the leading exporter. Getting it? So this is another question could have been solved using your basic thought process. See, this question, marsupials are not naturally found in India. Marsupials can thrive only in montane grasslands. Only in montane grasslands with no predators. Almost every organism can have some kind of predator, and almost every organism will prefer to live in one or two different kind of habitat, not exclusively in a single habitat. So there can be some adjustment. But here marsupials can thrive only in montane grassland with no predators. See, there is less possibility for that to happen if you have practiced with PVQ. Whenever UPSC gives you such extreme statements that contains the words like only, no, complete absence, eliminates, most of the times such kind of statements can be wrong. So this is an insight you are going to get from practicing immensely with PVQ. I'll show you how to do it in our successive upcoming sessions. So another statement, another question which could have been eliminated. Moving on. See, all these are. What are the possibilities of hydrogen, or in which of the following areas hydrogen can be used to reduce carbon dioxide or their greenhouse gas footprint? See, green hydrogen, whatever be the industry, you name the industry, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. The question is about green hydrogen. What is green hydrogen? Green hydrogen is environment-friendly hydrogen, carbon-friendly hydrogen, or hydrogen with limited carbon emission. So, green hydrogen, in whatever be form, in whatever be the industry, it is going to help the industry to decarbonize. That is what the purpose of the word green here. Here, UPSC add the word green with an intent. UPSC add the word green because you have to understand that green means sustainable, no carbon, free of carbon. Free of carbon in the sense, free of carbon emission in all these industries. Moving again. Carbon fibers are used in the manufacture of components used in automobiles. Carbon fibers once used cannot be recycled. Look at a previous year UPSC question. That is a purely logical question. Carbon fibers, biodegradable, recyclable. Carbon fibers, you can use it in automotive industries, vehicle industries, sports industry. See, you can use it anywhere. See, these two statements are purely logical. It can be recycled. But look at this question. This question is regarding carbon nanotubes. Carbon nanotubes are biodegradable. If carbon nanotubes are biodegradable, carbon fibers are also biodegradable. They can also be recycled. They can also be reused. So this is a logic. This is a combination of PVQ question and a logic as well. See, another question. Then, another question from science and technology. Although seems to be difficult, but this is another logical application. This is another question which can be solved using just your logic. Aerial metagenomics. Aerial metagenomics. Split the word aerial from air. Meta, whole. Genomics related to genetics. See, there are three words in that keyword. Air, whole, metagenomics, genetics. All together. See, among four options, there are two options which contain the concepts similar to genomics. DNA samples, genetic makeup. Then aerial, avian species, air. Then meta means whole, habitat at one go, understanding the genetic makeup of a species of a habitat. See, which of the above option contains a concept of whole, meta. at one go. So here we have collecting DNA samples from air using drones. See, option A seems to be fitting to the concepts given in the questions more. Getting it? If you go through the meaning of the word, if you split the word, if you use your logic well, the option A can be the answer. 12th word. Now go to the 13th word. India's public sector healthcare system and its utility. Again, a very logical statement. Two very logical statements. If you apply your rationality very well, you can arrive at the answer as well. Another question. Look at this question. Question regarding mercury pollution. Gold mining can lead to mercury pollution. Coal-based thermal power plant can cause mercury pollution. There is no non-power plant cause mercury pollution. Here, the question is actually a kind of comedy one. See, look at the second statement and look at the third statement. Second statement says that coal-based thermal power plant cause mercury pollution. Take it as correct. If second statement is correct, third statement could be wrong. There is no non-power plants can cause mercury pollution. That statement is wrong. If you take the third statement correct, second statement could be correct and wrong because it is contradicting to each other. So there are no possibility that 2 and 3 come together. Either 2 or 3 will come. And by your common sense, which one is more possible? Coal-based thermal power plant cause mercury pollution. See, here also a PYQ can help you. Look at the PYQ here. This question is regarding coal ash. Similar to coal power plants. Coal ash contained what? Coal ash contained arsenic, lead and mercury. So in a previous year, UPSC had mentioned about coal power plant or coal ash that contained mercury. And in 2023, UPSC mentioned about coal pollution, coal-based pollution coal-based power plant that can cause mercury pollution. See, if you are in doubt with statement 2, PYQ will help you. Getting it? If you are doubting with statement 2, PYQ is going to help you. So you can understand that statement 2 is correct. If you understand that statement 2 is correct, statement 3 is going to be eliminated. Then look at the first statement. Gold mining activity can cause mercury pollution. Gold is in the soil, mercury is in the soil. Gold mining can definitely lead to the mercury pollution. See, look at the 14th question. 1 and 2 can be correct. See, these are the 14 questions in UPSC Prelims 2023 which could have been solved using purely logic. Making sense, friends. So this is the 4th section. So together, the entire 4th section, directly from PYQ, fundamentals, logical reductions of Prelims 2023, then current affairs, all together make some 56 questions. Take it as 55, so almost 110 marks. What do you think about the cutoff of Prelims 2023? It is almost going to be 90. On a higher level, 90 is going to be on a higher limit in any case. But take it as 90. You can have 110 here. Out of this 55, let's make 5 of them incorrect or 10 of them incorrect. So 45 and 10 incorrect. Still you will get some around 85 marks. By relying upon UPSC, previous year UPSC question paper and the analysis of those 10 years question papers alone. Out of rest 45 questions, there are high chances that you're going to make 10 to 20 questions correct. See, you're easily across the line. So friends, through this video session, we have seen how previous year UPSC questions can be effectively utilized to tackle 2023's Prelims question paper. The same strategy is going to work in 2024 also, 2025 also, unless UPSC is going to change the syllabus and structure of this exam drastically. Believe me, it is not going to happen. You can tackle 2024 or 2026 or 2027, any year's UPSC's Prelims using the same strategy which I have shown you in this particular video session. So I am highly advise you to go through last 10 to 12 years UPSC question paper in order to comprehensively understand the nature of UPSC's Prelims. You can get direct questions, you can get indirect questions, you can understand how UPSC uses the phrases and languages in a particular year's question paper, and more importantly, you can master your smart work. So I wish all of you the very best in 2024's Prelims exam also. So I'm signing off. Thank you.
Content. The UPSC preparation journey is flooded with content. Aspirants are drowning in this flood of content, but still feeling unproductive, unmotivated, and unfocused, all leading to stress. But remember, toppers waste one thing. It's not about how much you study, it's about how smartly you plan, manage, and track your study. Here comes the Yoda Study Planner app. Yoda app breaks down syllabuses into 230 subtopics, integrates current affairs, and offers a pool of 15,000 preliminary questions and provides daily study and practice tasks to you. Choose the study planner that best suits you. Enrolled in a test series? Opt for that. Prefer solo study sessions? Choose your personalized My Planner. Utilize 3 Yoda's trackers. Daily Effort Tracker to know how much your peers are putting effort. Ability Tracker to identify weak and strong areas, and Syllabus Tracker to monitor your syllabus completion. Download now. Think smart and be productive.